Hey.
Good morning. I hope all of you had a great weekend. Let's start with a quick review from where we were on Friday. We've been talking about fundamentals. We've already talked about things like opportunity costs and trade-offs and voluntary exchanges. We've looked at the word marginal. What does marginal always mean? One more, so marginal cost versus marginal benefit, those sorts of things. We've also talked about the four productive resources. What are they that every business has to have? Entrepreneur, land, labor, and capital. So those are our four productive resources. Now, let's also look at production possibilities. We started looking at this at the end of last week, and I want us to pick up from there right now. Production possibilities is how companies make decisions based on what should I produce more or less of. Let's do a review. If we look at a production possibility curve, all right, and let's say that I have a bakery, Pam's Bakery, and I can produce donuts. I like hot, fresh donuts. And I can produce cakes. Those are my two options at my bakery. Now, my donuts we're going to do by the dozen. So I say, okay, I can do 5 dozen, 10 dozen, 15 dozen, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 dozen. All right? Or I can do cakes, and the cakes are individually. And so I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cakes per day. So I start here and I go around to here. This is my production possibilities. If I say today, guys and gals, at our bakery, we're going to make 40 dozen donuts. How many cakes can I make, Amber?
None.
Okay, Amber, none. All right, so if I put all my focus on donuts, then I have no time or resources left to make cakes. So on the flip side of that then, Ashton, if I make 10 cakes today, how much time do I have left to make donuts?
None.
None. So I'm somewhere between here. So let's say that I've said today I'm going to make 30 dozen donuts. All right, at 30 dozen donuts, how would I determine how many cakes I have time to make? I'm going to go straight up until I what?
Hit the line.
Hit the line. And when I hit the line and go across, I have about enough resources to make 6 cakes if I'm making 30 donuts. Does that make sense to you? 30 dozen donuts. All right, so I am working at this point. All right, what if I decide, you know what, today's a little slow on donuts. I've had some more orders for cakes. So I need to make 8 cakes today.
25.
I'm only going to be able to make 25 dozen cakes. I mean 25 dozen donuts. Does that make sense? So this is point B. Now, if I've moved from point A to point B, what did I give up? What was my opportunity cost?
5 more donuts.
I gave up 5 dozen donuts in order to, what did I gain?
2 cakes. 2 cakes.
I gained 2 cakes. Does that make sense to you? All right, so here's point A and point B. How important is it that I be working on this curve? Very important. What does it tell me? If this is my production possibility, this is how much it's possible for me to make. What if I have to take today off because I've got a family emergency and I leave you guys in charge of my bakery? And then I come in tonight and I look and I discover that all day long you made 4 cakes and 15 dozen donuts. It's what?
Underproduction.
Underproduction. Did you guys work to maximum efficiency in my bakery?
No.
No. You probably ate most of my profits. And you have enjoyed time, kickback. You didn't get there early enough. You came in late. You closed up early because you had places and people that you needed to go and see. And so this is actually working under production. I'm not being efficient. Let's say Easter weekend comes up because it's coming pretty soon. And on Easter you have churches that have sunrise services and you have people that are doing egg hunts and they like cakes and they like donuts and they like ours at our bakery, and so they've placed all kinds of orders. And for Easter weekend I'm actually working here. All right, what is this called then? Point D. Overproduction. But I've got orders for it. I know I'll be able to sell all of it because I've taken all these orders in.
Something ain't gonna be right.
Oh, why not, Steve?
Because you rushed it and tried to fit it into a schedule that wasn't.
Okay, here I'm working beyond my production curve. I am going to probably have some dry cakes or some that are falling apart. I may have some donuts that are a little stale, or maybe they're a little greasy or something because I've tried to do it in a hurry. Now, how could I prevent that for that one weekend? I need to work here just for this one weekend, but I don't want to sacrifice the flavor and the taste of my business. What can I do to help me be able to achieve this?
Plan ahead of time.
Plan ahead. What do I need to do? What action as the entrepreneur do I need to take for that weekend to help me be able to work at this production level?
Stay longer, probably. And
Stay longer, one.
Get more work.
Thank you. I need to bring some more workers in just for Easter weekend, and I probably need to work 2 shifts. I need to have a day shift and a night shift, which means I am going to be just completely crashing the day after Easter. But I'll be made a lot of money during that time, and I'll be met all the needs of those orders. Can I do this long term?
No.
No, then everything will start to suffer. But what if I wanted this to be a goal? If this is my goal for productivity and I want to work towards it, what could I do to work me to where I could shift my line outwards?
Hire those workers full time.
Hire more workers. What else might I do to be able to produce at that level? I could spread my store, my hours could be longer, or could I possibly open another store
Get more equipment.
in another city, buy better equipment or buy duplicates of the equipment so that we can speed up the process. There's all kinds of things we can look at. So if you think about some of the businesses right here around us that have opened additional businesses in other towns, it's because they found that they had a great market here, but they can't meet all the demands they have, so they've expanded and maybe opened in other areas. Or some businesses started small and then had to spread out a little bit. An example would be the bistro here in Baxley. When the bistro first opened, it was just that one part of the building where you walk in to the bistro, where the bar is, where you can place your order, they've got stools. That was the whole restaurant. There were literally about 5 little pub tables sitting there, and that was it. Then he realized after several months that his business was growing and there was a big demand for it, and so what did he do? He expanded. He asked the lady that owns that building, can I start renting the area next door? They tore out part of the wall, made an opening, so he doubled, more than doubled the size of his restaurant. But why didn't he do that initially? Why not go ahead and make it big? He needed to know, am I going to have enough customers to justify paying rent for 2 areas of the building instead of just one? So he started small. I'm sure, well, probably she was willing to take the wall out for him as the building owner, the landlord. But he's now paying double the rent because he's taking up 2 areas of the building instead of just one. All right, any questions about production possibilities? We understand it? Yes, no? All right, so real quickly, let's look at this next section. There's more production possibility curves. Specialization. We talked about this as well a little bit. Why might you want to specialize, E?
More efficient with their work order.
Okay, to get people more efficient with their work. Help me understand that. Donnell, can you help him? What do we mean by specializing? How does that make people more efficient?
I guess. Yeah, I would have said. Like, I guess.
Tell me what you guess. Think about the 20 boxes of car kits that I brought on Friday. Said, what if I brought 20 car kits, huge boxes, and I set them outside? Okay, how is that going to make you finish quicker? You've each got your own job. We use the example. If I bought 20 car kits.
We specialize in one thing only.
Okay, and how does that speed it up though?
So you got more hands on.
Faster and better.
Okay, because you get faster because you only have to worry about what?
One bar.
One part. Maybe.
You learn that certain part.
Okay, maybe Michael's doing the brakes, maybe Scott is doing the steering, maybe Courtney is doing the interior, maybe Steve is mounting the doors. But once you learn your one job, that's all you're responsible for and you pass it right along. Any questions about production possibilities or specialization?
No.
All right, thanks guys.